Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's go. Kevin here, top 1 financial advisor and best-selling author. We are here to talk about the stock market. The stock market is having a good day, which is rare. So in today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of investing in times like this and why you don't want to, sell and go and hide somewhere. But also, I'm going to show you and tell you a little bit more about 10 Qs. This is how I find out what I need to know from certain companies and how I help to make those investment decisions. So I'm going to walk you through where and how to find that information today. I also wrote an article on Business Insider about the same topic, and I'll put that in the comment section below. So let's go ahead and get started. So one, as of right now, and I'm recording this at like 3 Eastern, so the numbers are going to move before the end of the day. So I got an hour for things to change. Right now, the NASDAQ, that basically is the index for tech companies, where the NASDAQ goes, most tech companies go, is up 1.57%, which is great. The S&P 500 is up 0.22%, and Dow Jones is up just 0.10. The market is up so far today, right now, as of recording. And this is a good thing. But when it comes to investing as a whole, the reason why I always say, hey, look, just hold on to things and you can make your adjustments on a regular basis. But when the market is down, you don't want to just take everything and run and hide and say, well, I'm just going to wait until the market gets better. It's because stuff like this actually counts. When you do the math over time, this counts. So for example, the market is down 20% and you got 1% better, you're only down 19. Now you may be thinking negative 20 to negative 19 is not that big a deal. But as the time continues to grow, if you're still down 20, but I'm getting little percents here and there that kind of even things out, that's actually going to help you in the long term. And I've showed you guys the chart from JP Morgan, those that miss like the top 10 best days in the market, like get very, very little return, whereas those who stick it out, both of the good and the bad, tend to do best. So this is just one of those days. Now, I'm not saying that today is the end of everything and that the market is going to bounce up and go up for the next 10 years. I hope that's the case. I really do. But what I'm not going to do is trick myself into thinking that everything's all good and that everything is all solved and resolved. Just like we talked about in yesterday's video about understanding like your mental health and your outlook on the market. Mine is still the same because I read and understand what's going on. Inflation is still here. That has not changed. Supply chain is still an issue. That has not changed. So it wouldn't shock me if the market is down on Monday. Now Monday the market is closed for Juneteenth. So Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever happens, whenever it does happen. Neither case, right? I'm just focused on what I'm focused on, and I'm gonna continue doing that. Now, the second half of this is really about understanding, because I'm going to be making some changes in my portfolio, understanding what I'm looking at, how these companies are doing, and how I make those decisions. So a part of my research process I'm going to give you right now today, and that is called a 10Q. The 10Q is one of my favorite forms when I go through and do my research. Perhaps I'm a bit of a nerd about it, but it basically, when companies put out their quarterly earnings and we react to them, we talk about it, and you see it on the news, they actually have to file this 10Q with the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, not the football conference. And basically, it's sometimes a 60, 70 page document, depending on how complex the company is. Tells you a lot of what you need to know, including some financial information. And you can take that, decipher it, and figure out what you want to do about it. So, to discuss this, I'm going to use an example for Prologis. Their stock symbol is PLD. They are a REIT, a real estate investment trust. I'll show you where to find this information, how to find it, what it means, and then for people in the membership only, I'll show you what exactly I look at and how I make those decisions. But I'll show you where to get it and just kind of give you a quick tour around what a 10Q looks like. All right, so you're looking at the investor relations section. Now, I tell y'all this all the time. Investor relations is one of the best places as an investor that you should be. Any company you're looking at, any company you're invested in, you might want to know where the investors relations section is. And you can see here, we have all of the reports that are currently filed. So they have their annual report, obviously comes out once a year. And then you have their 10K, which is the same thing, except that it's less stylized. So actually, I'm going to show you what this looks like. So this is the PDF version, which I think is more friendly. This is their last annual report. It looks very nice. It is very reader friendly. You can probably click on these things up here. I can go straight to financial highlights, and it's going to tell me that the company's been growing, all this kind of stuff. That's very, very, very nice. I like the annual report. The only problem is you only get it annually. You can't get it every month. You don't get it every quarter. I got what I got from 2021. I got to wait all the way until the end of 2022 or maybe even to 2023 to learn a bit more. But I just love the way that 10Qs usually look. But that ain't where I get the nitty gritty, right? That's not where I get all my details, even though a lot of this stuff is the same. So if I'm going to go back here, and the 10K is the annual report. So it's a lot of the same information, but it's really stripped down from all the really nice stuff you just saw. So here's a 10K. They all look similar, which is one reason why I like it. Everybody's 10K from every company that has to report, their 10Ks are going to look a lot like this. Okay, a lot like this. I know, look at it. It's boring. It doesn't look all that great, but it is what it is. And this one is 133 pages. Okay, so that's the annual report. But again, I only get this but so often at the end of the company's fiscal year. So they're, our year is January to December. Some companies have different fiscal calendars. I think the end of Apple's fiscal year is in September. So just a quirk. If you read the article, you'll learn more about it. All right, so what I am looking for is, let's see, I've got my 2021 annual report. That's always my most fun report. I can go back and see any others from other years to see, hey, how accurate are you? Right? You said that 3 years ago you're going to be at this point. Let me go back and see. You can do that if you want, but I'm going to go to quarterly results. Now, the beauty of going through and looking at the quarterly results is that I'm getting the most recent information. It can only be as old as about 3 months. Okay, that is good. And when it comes to inflation and what's going on with inflation and demand and supply, all that stuff, I can get right now. Right? What happened in 2021, they're probably not going to cover that because it may not have been an issue or a concern during that particular point in time. All right, so Form 10Q is right here. I could have also gone to SEC filings and checked that out. It probably would have been there as well. But Form 10Q is going to look a lot like the 10K, but it's going to be a bit smaller. Remember, the 10K was 133 pages. This one's just 63. Just 63. Now, I'll also be honest with you, I don't read this entire thing from top to bottom for a few reasons. One, is long, okay? And if I got 12 stocks, right, if I got 10 stocks, I'm looking at 600 pages. I don't have time for that, okay? But I do go for what I know where to find what I need to find, okay? And there are shortcuts around this thing too. All right, so I go straight down here. This is this is the index here, table of contents if you ask me, and I have all the things that I need to really quickly understand. I want to know when I'm coming into these statements, I want to know, how are you financially, okay? And I can find this in other places, just the primary source. How are you financially? What are some risks and things I need to pay attention to? What are you doing and how are you doing? So here, I can go to financial statements. As you can see here, it's going to tell me what they did over the previous quarter. Okay, so that's how you're doing financially. I can find that information here. Then what I also like to do, let me move this over just a little bit. I like to come down here to management's discussion and analysis. Every 10Q is organized in a very similar way. Item 1, item 2, and then really financial information and then other information. Talk about that in the article as well. So I can go down here to, how are you feeling about your business? What does this mean? How's this quarter going for you? I can go here. I can look at risk factors. What are you concerned about? And what should I be concerned about if I'm going to invest in something? One of the fun, I say it's fun, y'all know I'm a nerd. I say fun things is because I like when a company, in a way, tells on itself and says, hey, look, we're concerned about this. And if we can't get this right, it's not going to be good. Which is great. One, I obviously love you to be transparent. But two, I may have a better understanding about that particular market and that concern. One example of this, and somewhat of a tangent, we were talking about Intuit the other day. When I decided to invest in Intuit way back in December 2021, I went through their reports and they said that they are a seasonal business. The majority of their business, not all of it, majority of their business is based on tax season. They said they go through seasonality. So around tax season, they get a huge spike of revenue and all this kind of stuff. And then it starts to die back down until they wait until the next tax season. Great for me to know. Okay, I know it. So if the stock starts to take off around tax season and comes back down, at least I know and I understand that, right? So under risk factors are where you're going to find that particular information. So you can go through all of this stuff. Remember the other day when I brought up, I think it was Peloton, we compared Peloton and Intuit, I think, I went here and I took the screenshots and stuff from here. This is where you can get this information. Now, this is, again, not, you can go to a lot of different apps and find similar information. You can go to a news article and they'll summarize this for you, which is good. Every investor, you don't have to go through this entire report. I just like to do it because I think it gives me all the information in context, even though the document is rather large. But I do have my spots that I go to very quickly, see what I need to see, answer the questions that I have going into it, and then make a better investing decision. So as you see here, this is their financial information. I'm not going to go through it all, but I just want to show you how to navigate it and how it works. I can go back here to index, which is going to take me back to the table of contents. If it's going to let me do that. I guess it doesn't want to let me do that, but in either case, and let's see, here we go. Go down here to risk factors real quick. And as you can see here, they don't have any risk factors as of March. And I should probably zoom in for y'all. They don't have any new risk factors from what they had talked about in their 10K, which I guess was in March of 2022. So maybe I do want to go back and read that 10K because the only information I had when I invested in this one was what I had in December of 2021. So I can go back and update my thoughts and opinions on the company, decide how I want to do moving forward. The other thing, the last thing rather that you want to pay attention to is like, this is what I do. This is what I do when I decide, hey, I am buying or selling X company. Okay, so I go through here and I read through and make my decisions on how I feel about what they're saying, what we're expecting moving forward. I would encourage you to do something similar. Does not have to be the exact same thing. I would encourage you to do something similar. Again, there are tons of news articles that will just summarize this for you in probably much easier format. In fact, I don't like the font on this one anyway. Okay, on this particular, but some have better fonts. But you guys get the point. You can find it at Investor Relations. There are other apps and websites that kind of put all this stuff together. I should also tell you that the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, also has this. It's called EDGAR. I do not remember the acronym. I probably should. I think it's Electronic Database. I'm not great at spelling. So electronic database for accounting and something. I don't know. But you can also Google SEC EDGAR company and you can search all this stuff there too. So that's just one thing that you want to pay attention to. This is what helps me to make better investing decisions when I'm ready to make these changes. So when I talk about whatever it is I'm going to buy and sell come June of this year, a lot of information is going to be coming from reports like this. So before we get out of here all together, here are some things you need to know. Now, I will be showing our members only group exactly what I look at and how I decipher all of these things. Feel free to join that members group. There's a join now button right under this video and it's also in the description. I'll put the article in the description too, assuming it's already out. And then, you know, how to break this down, where to look, how to look, and then really kind of increasing your financial acumen. So we'll kind of go into deeper detail. It's probably gonna come out like Sunday or Monday. And then other programming news. Remember, I will be on vacation next week. You will still get a number of videos. I want to try and do 5, so that means I got to do a lot of work tonight, which is why I'm doing this one early, and then on Saturday to make sure that we get out our content. If you want me to cover something, tell me in the comments right now so I can do the work, do the research, and record the video to make sure we stay on schedule. If there is any breaking news, make sure you are following me on Instagram, Twitter, all those other places. I will probably be doing, I do YouTube shorts every now and then. If it's something breaking and I got to get out quick, I'm probably not going to have my camera and all the other nice equipment that we're all used to now. So I gotta use what I got. Okay, so make sure that you know what's going on. You're staying plugged in, and also subscribe. I got people who watch all these videos and don't be subscribed. It's free. Go do that. Okay. All right. That's it for me. I'll talk to you later.